Valerie Armstead. These are my 5 audiences: Tykea, Jeremy, Karen, Bliss, and Victoria. I believe that if you are a citizen of the United States, you should vote. To be a citizen of the United States, you are given certain rights and privileges. Many times, people think that their vote will not have an impact on society. They make the excuse like saying that one vote will not make a difference. They also tend to believe that their choice only affects them and not others. However, what if everyone around you decided not to vote because they thought it wouldn't count? How exactly would our government end up? The government in our society is almost like an extended family. Different family members have different rules to go about, and as a citizen, one of our roles should also be to vote. One big reason to vote is because our ancestors fought and died to get this right and privilege. A privilege many Americans have been given because of people who have struggled for these systems since the beginning of the nation's foundations. And also, many people in different countries are still fighting now just to get their chance to vote and have a word in their government. Poor white men, black men, and even women all fought hard to get their chance to have a word. Your vote is what shapes the United States and its future. If you choose not to vote, you are not only being selfish, but you are abandoning these rights as people who do not have their own voice in government. Minorities have to fight to get this right that people tend to just overlook. Now citizens have forgotten about it. For example, women. Women cannot vote for many years because they were not considered important enough or intelligent enough for decision making. Now we all have a responsibility to make the world a better place, and we have the right to do so. Blacks were not even considered citizens until after decades of work and important individuals that helped that, like Martin Luther King Jr. African Americans are now able to take place in the Electoral College. All of these rules and policies we have are made by people. We as citizens out into office. These affect us each and every single day. We do not just want anyone running office, and we should gain knowledge on it. We should read the news and understand the direction our country is going in. Even though these issues may not affect you right now, the day will come when they will affect you. Also, the issues are not just about us doing what's best for all citizens, but like I said, if you don't like your current president, you can change that. Our young generation is at an all-time high in not voting because they don't feel like it's important to do so. Education is crucial. Many other countries are way ahead of us, and we are falling behind. And legislation is where it all stems from. We have had many devastating disasters recently, and I have seen many of our citizens not receiving the help they need, such as many current natural disasters in previous years. Federal funds are determined by legislation. We have many poor relations with many countries right now. We desperately need politicians in office who can work for peaceful relations with other countries. We as people should stand side by side instead of being divided. And the government is a representation of the people, and they are and should be employed by the people. The people are made up by each and every citizen. The government and politicians have taken over our country, and sometimes they do tend to fail to listen to the people. We need to remind the government that they do not dictate policy, but assert the policies the people want. And with this, so don't forget, voting shows active awareness of the citizens. The old wise saying is still true till today. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Written and quoted by JFK. We need to be strong. We need to be strong country once again. It can happen, but each and every one of us must do our part. We're either part of the problem or part of the solution. Voting is the primary step of involvement and interaction with our government. The government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is just that simple act of voting that is very important. If nobody voted, your government would not be a democracy. It would take a different form, such as monarchy or any other form that would require a different form of election. If you do not vote, you will have no credibility and no room to complain when you think things are going bad. So then, voting also shows your support for also shows your support, your right to vote, and is another reason why it is important to vote. Your vote is the voice in government. So basically, it is quite important to vote because it shows your involvement and allows you to become more involved. And it also shows our right and your responsibility. And lastly, it shows that you are independent and can agree or disagree with the government. And you can also create the type of government that you want, that is right for you. Your future and mine depend on everybody's vote. Many times, the polls showing what people want and what the actual outcome is different because people are basically too lazy to get up and go out and vote. Voting is right that people of free nations have so they can choose the leaders of their country. Casting a vote is most widely understood and discreetly effective way to one's voice heard in American politics. All of these are prime examples of why it's so important to vote. And you should always vote because it shows active involvement in your country and in your world. These are my 5 people again. And thank you for listening.